Welcome back to another episode of Why Do I Do That? Today, I have Lucinda Brandham on with me. She is a manifestation and shadow work coach. She's also studied the Aaruka certification. So she is qualified to do all the things like subconscious and trauma and all the things. But I've brought her on today because this person's question was about manifesting and she straight away was my go-to gal. So welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
No worries. I'm so excited for this episode because I feel like I have felt like this so many times in my life. This person's question is hard relate. So the question today is, why do I feel blocked from manifesting my goals? And again, can really relate. There's been so many times in life where I've been like, there's just this huge block in the way and I don't know what it is, but I just can't get there. So my question to you, we always break down the why first. So why do you think that this person or somebody would feel blocked from manifesting their goals? What's your take?
And this is like a common thing because it's like I'm doing all the action. Most people think they're doing the work too. So it's not like you're not taking aligned action, but something isn't clicking and a lot of people don't know what it actually is. And what I would say to that is there's a part of you that doesn't want it. And because of that, you're not a match. And we're not talking doing, we're talking like being. We're talking the human that you are and your identity. And so you've actually, when you are manifesting, essentially you're going up a level. Like you're going higher. It's not that you're better than someone else. You're just, in comparison to yourself, you're going up a level. And so that feels uncomfortable. There's often a lot of things that come with that if you think about it. So it could be you're manifesting more money and it's like what comes with more money? More responsibility, more pressure, more self-trust. You might not actually trust yourself. So we have to understand, like this is what I say to people who are manifesting. People are doing like love and light, but it's like you've got to go the opposite way and go, okay, what's the downside that will come with that? Because that's exactly how you get to the fear.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I can so relate. I like with money, with the life that I wanted, there's so many things that came up as like, oh, but if I do that, this will happen and that will happen. And it was like, I couldn't be the version of myself that I needed to be in order to receive it.
Yeah. And it's like, that's the subconscious driver that we can't see from a conscious level, because even when I first asked people that, they're like, of course I want it. Of course I want to be a millionaire, but it's like, do you really? So let's say I gave you $1 million today. Most of you would shit yourself. Like you would be like,
or
how
$1
do I
million
invest
company.
that? Yeah, $1 million company.
Wouldn't know how
The
to run
pressure
it.
that comes with that, the responsibility, the conflict, the people management, the leadership, like you've got to really step up and most people can't do that.
Yes.
And so yes, you're doing the things from an action point of view, but not in your identity and like the characteristics you need to bring through, the personality traits, the energy that you actually need to lead from.
Yeah. And do you think that even when they like say that they're doing all the things, they're doing all the things from their level of perception and their level of awareness and their level of self? Like for instance, I think I'm doing all the things, but then if I think, okay, hold on a minute, if I was running a multi-million-dollar company, what would I be doing different? What would I not be doing and who would I have to be? And it's like a huge list.
Yes.
And it's like, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just doing what they think they need to do to drive forward, but exactly from their conscious level. And, you know, they're not looking, and instead what they're doing is sabotaging, because that's what we do when something doesn't feel safe, we're sabotaging, and it's in very mass ways. That's like, you know, how our shadow gets us and affects our day to day is it's actually really subtle. And I think that's why a lot of people don't see how they're actually stuck. It's because it's not like it's right in front of your face. Yes, sometimes it is, but a lot of the time when it comes to like evolution and self-growth and like just growing at a consistent rate, it's very, very masked.
Because it's that, I always say self-sabotage is alignment with your subconscious beliefs.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's like you don't know you're sabotaging yourself, but what you're actually doing is aligning with those subconscious beliefs about how life has to be for you, who you are and how the world works. Because there's like those 3 different categories, right? Because there's the identity, but then there's also like your identity as a person in the world and how the world works. Some people just think like the rich get richer and there's like so many beliefs about how the world functions that also can affect what they're trying to call in. And that's just money. Like if we think of it in context of like love,
Yeah.
that's a whole different kettle of
Yeah.
fish. Like
Yeah.
if someone's trying to manifest their dream partner.
Yeah. And the biggest thing with that one is what I found, even from my own level, you're fearful of losing it. So it's like the bigger the love, the deeper the love, you're scared shitless of it getting ripped out from under you. And you don't want to deal with that heartbreak and that level of vulnerability. And, you know, even people are going, I want a deep love, supportive love, committed love, vulnerable love. Are you that though? Like, are you actually that?
Yes.
Yeah. And because what happens is you'll get in that position and that person is going to make you so uncomfortable. And instead of you going, I've got to step up again, you go, they're the wrong one and they're too nice. They're too,
right.
Yeah. They're too deep. Like they try and get me in these deep conversations and I just can't handle it. And it's like, that's you. And like, you know, it can create resentment, fights, you'll start problems, you'll create chaos because that's what feels safe to you if you're not used to a safe love.
So there's like wanting it and desiring it, but then there's also like receiving it and being a version of yourself that you can actually receive said thing that you're trying to manifest. So if we go into like the tips bit of this, like how do you be the person who receives it? How do you do all of that? Like where does a person start?
The thing that I would say first is you've got to put yourself literally in the firing line. Like people don't want to do this. They go, I'm going to do all the self-development and then I'll take the step. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. One, you're never going to know what your limitations are until you literally get in the arena. It's the fastest way to bring them through because you move, limitations come straight up and you work on it. Like you can dissolve at the same time. They don't have to be done separately. So that would be the first thing. And is looking at, okay, when I move and I take the action, like what are the narratives that I'm running? What are the stories that I'm running? And what am I feeling like in my body that is making this feel so unsafe? Because you'll be able to debunk pretty quickly. Like with the money, it may be, well, I don't want to attract this money because I'm scared that my family are going to think I'm greedy. They're not going to relate to me anymore because every time I talk to them, we're talking about our money problems. Oh, I don't got money problems anymore.
They won't love me. They won't accept me.
Yeah, I'm going to be alone.
Yeah.
And like that's the wounding coming up. And it's not a bad thing, right? We want to see our wounds so we can work on them. So it's like see them as gifts. Okay, this just got revealed to me. Now I know exactly what I need to do in order to get to the next level.
So they first need to become aware of their thoughts. Like even step back, they need to be aware of their thoughts as like, that's a thought that's coming from a place that's not truth.
Yes.
And the thought is the information that you use to unpack what's underneath it.
Yep, exactly. And, you know, when we think about everything that we are, like all our beliefs are learnt, right? Literally programmed into us from seeing, hearing, observing, like our five senses. So we know we can unlearn it through the exact same thing. So it's like expose yourself to it. But you've got to have the awareness because of confirmation bias, you're going to want to confirm your own beliefs as true. So you have to be really self-aware to be like, that actually isn't truth. And I'm going to still do the thing anyway and expose myself to it and create new evidence. Because that's what you're looking for with beliefs. You have to have new evidence.
Yes. And the way that I actually do that sometimes is if I can catch the thought and write it down, I remind myself like nothing is absolute truth. And so I take whatever the sentence is, like my family won't love me anymore if I'm rich.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what else could be true?
Yeah.
That's the question. The thing I say to myself is what else could be true? And on the piece of paper, I cross it out. And on the other side, I write a different reality that could be true in all the potential realities that exist.
Yeah.
And then once I think about that, and for me, when you're speaking about like getting out and doing it, for me, sometimes like I can do the subconscious work and all of that, but it actually helps for me to like speak to the fear. So I like have gone to my mum before and been like, I'm actually like so worried about if I start earning heaps of money that I feel bad for you and I feel bad that, you know, you're going to be threatened by my success or you're going to not like the version of me or whatever. And she would be like, oh, I'm always going to love you, you know, and it diffuses it and you have that evidence because gathering evidence, that's how you, when you do the thing.
And she's validating your new truth.
Yes.
And, you know, you see that in relationships all the time is people assuming something, their partner isn't a mind reader. And when you talk to them, they're like, well, how was I supposed to know?
Yes.
But you're going, I'm alone. They don't hear me. They don't see me. All these, God knows what other train you're going on.
Yes.
And so often, exactly what you said, when you speak to it, you're going to you're going to gain different evidence and stack evidence to create your new reality because it's a reflection of your belief systems.
Yes. And if you've had a belief that's been like so deeply ingrained for a long time, you need to start gathering new evidence because for the belief that's there, you've probably already got hundreds, if not thousands of examples that it's true.
Exactly. And consciously do that, not just allow it to be in situations where it presents in your everyday, like reflect literally every day, expose yourself to it through reflection,
Intentionally.
stack. Like
Yes.
it takes consistency.
It does. Yeah. It's like, what can I do today
Yeah.
to prove that that's true? What
Yeah.
can I do today to align with that?
Yeah.
What can I do today to be that version of me? Like,
Yeah. What did I see today that was an example of I was loved, I was heard, money was safe, money flocked to me, opportunities are coming, all the things, whatever you're trying to manifest, obviously, that is what you're seeking to stack the evidence to confirm it is true. Because there is evidence everywhere. And if you say, oh, not in my own life, go look at others. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not the first person to manifest this thing.
Yes, get the evidence. And that's the thing as well, I think that gets missed a lot is that people are like, oh, I'm doing all the things, but they're like visualizing and calling it in and doing vision boards and shit. But like there is a key component in the laws of the universe, which is take aligned action.
Yeah.
You have to take action.
And like, exactly. Thinking an affirmation is the work, but it's like often you feel like you're lying to yourself because of what we just spoke about.
Yes.
And so when you go to seek evidence instead and challenge your current belief system, it's essentially an affirmation, but through real life evidence, not I'm a millionaire when you clearly know you're not a millionaire. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. So then if you're not taking that aligned action or you're not doing the identity work to step into that version that like 100% believes that that's coming, if not already yours.
Yeah.
It just doesn't manifest because you can't just keep thinking about it. And it's also that mindset of like, if you're like, I'm going to call in the love of my life, but you're not on dating apps or you're not going on any dating
This
dates.
is what I see all the time.
You're like, I mean, that's so rude, but I'm also like, so like how have your last like 10 dates gone or whatever? Oh, I haven't been on any.
You're like, you don't leave the house.
So like you just want someone to like rock up to your door and be like, hey, I'm the love of your life. Like, sorry, it's not a Hollywood movie. You're not going to like trip over and he helps you up and he's like glistening with the sun behind him. Like you need to go on dating apps and you need to like have a list of what you want and be clear. And when they're not it, move on to the next person. And like, you've got to be like taking that aligned action.
Yeah. And holding the standard and like showing up as the person that you essentially want to attract or the person who holds that thing. So when it comes to the action piece, that would be another part is like, okay, you're in that position and go, who do I need to become? What is the personality of this person and how do I need to start leading my life? Because it's probably, you need to make faster decisions. Like successful people aren't contemplating for 2 years about that one decision because they've already moved yesterday, like over the one decision. So, audaciousness, courageousness, whatever it is that you need to be, maybe it's kindness, maybe it's directness, you've got to become something else because that's the exact reason you're not there yet.
Yes, 100%. And that requires changing things at a subconscious level, which is why so many people get blocked because they're trying to do it at home from like, the books and all of the things. And they're not even aware that those subconscious blocks are showing up.
Yeah.
So that's where people like you and me come in, I guess, to be able to go to call it out. And that's what you do, right? Like you see it and you see those incongruencies and you see those, hold on, like this is what you want and this is what you're doing or this is what you want. But then you also said to me, X, Y, Z, here's all your beliefs. Yeah. To be able to shift that, that's like the quickest way.
Exactly.
To align, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because at the start, if you don't have what you want, everything is a contradiction. Like you want something, but your actual reality, this is what people don't do with manifestation. They're not looking at actual reality. They're looking at future. Yes. And we know your past creates your future.
So your present.
Future. Yeah.
Your present is your future past.
And present, yeah, because so the way that you're behaving today and your patterns, behaviors, your cycles, your beliefs are a reflection of the past.
Yeah, and they're your past in a week's time. So if you don't break the cycle now, I've never thought about it like that, but like right now is future me is referencing back to this moment. So in each moment, you actually have the ability like right now to break that cycle.
Yep.
To be the version of yourself so that the future you can look back and be like, past me already got this.
Yeah. And, it's not going to be easy. This is the thing is like, I think manifestation gurus have told you it's going to be easy.
Like The Secret, the movie The Secret.
Yes. And maybe, and you know what, when you become an advanced manifestor, it probably will be easy because you've expanded your threshold to discomfort. That's the only reason. And you can hold scary things happening, right? That's literally the key to success, firstly. But at the start, when you haven't exposed yourself to any, like, you know, outside of your comfort zone, a threat to your ego, and then you start doing that, it's going to feel really, really uncomfortable.
And if you pull that to like dating, you know, you have to experience a level of rejection that maybe you might like someone, but they might not like you, or someone might ghost you, or whatever it is in dating. Like, you have to get used to that level of discomfort and push through to get to the person.
Yep.
And so many people, I have clients like this as well, that go on a dating app, get ghosted, feel that intense feeling of rejection, and just, I'm out. And then they don't do it again for 6 months, and then they try again, get rejected, and they just keep creating this pattern, right?
Yeah.
But it's that thing of like, you've got to be able to sit in the discomfort.
Yeah, and keep going. And that's how it's going to be easier and easier and easier. You know, rejection, right? You can normalize rejection pretty quickly. Like, when I think of even my business journey, and I had to go out there, physically walk into suppliers and like, do you want to stock my products, in nicer words, obviously. And
do you want to take them right now?
Take them right now. At the start, I would shit bricks. I'd like prepare myself for it. And then I was like, you know, I literally said to myself, how bad do you want this? Because you're responsible. It's on me to make the success. No one's doing it for me. So get uncomfortable, walk in there and make the success happen.
Yeah. Oh, and so many people have that, and then they back down. Like, they do it once and back down, and they probably don't even realize that they're doing that. They just dip their toe in, and then the subconscious mind is so fucking strong, right? Like, I've had to call myself out so many times where I've had this, you know, this feeling come in of like, oh, it's just too much. If I just push my business to that level, I'll burn out. It's not safe. I need to look after my health. All of these beliefs come in, and I'm like, oh, I've been doing that for like years. And the thoughts feel valid.
Yeah.
It feels like, actually, you know what? Like, you know, with dating, you've been on 10 dates and this has happened 10 times. Like, maybe you're just not meant to meet somebody, and you really convince yourself out of the thing that you want. And that's where I think you have to be so clear on what you want so that you can like really, and
call yourself out on your shit, because that's where you start sabotaging, right? You sabotage so you don't get the thing, because you're starting to get into that territory where you're feeling really, really unsafe.
Uncomfortable.
I used to do it all the time with motherhood, all the time as an excuse to not grow my business. And I'd like tap out and be like, I'm just busy with motherhood. Really.
Yeah.
I was like busy creating random shit to do. So I seemed busy. And it's hilarious, because now I'm working 2.5 days per week, making more money than ever, and cleared most of my procrastination and distraction. And when I think back then, I was like, I was working on that. That's like, I'm like 100 times more productive. And then I live my life between that.
Yes.
Like, not consumed by my business anymore.
Yeah. It's crazy. But it's like, hindsight's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Like, you look back and you think, oh, that's what I was doing. That's that pattern. But when you're in it, what's your advice to somebody who's in it? Like, they might be like, oh, actually, I'm listening to this and I'm like, oh, I do that. Every time I try and do this, I tell myself I'm going to get sick or burn out, and then I pull back, and I've got this pattern. What would be your like, okay, step one, besides obviously booking in a session with you, but like, what would be your like at home step one? You've identified it. You're like, fuck, I do that.
Yeah.
What's the first thing?
So of it, you can see it's happening, and you want to break that pattern and that behavior, and essentially like choose differently. And it's going to be repetition, right? It's not, and interrupt the pattern is what you're doing. Interrupt the pattern. So you're going to keep seeing it, like, because you can't unsee these things. So that's where you will get so sick of yourself, to be honest. And if you don't change, then you'll change 6 months, 12 months, or you'll go seek help from an expert to help you. But come in from your patterns, because when we think of change, we can come in really like from our current reality and what we're actually seeing, beliefs or patterns. But I believe patterns are easiest to catch, because you're going to see when you're in it, not always. So then you can be like, okay, why am I actually doing this though? So for as long as I do X behavior, what do I get to avoid? So for example, okay, for as long as I am busy doing God knows what in my business, like, I don't know, sitting on Canva or like planning out 2 years in advance, but never executing, by the way, never executing, what do I get to avoid? Actually executing and
Yeah.
growing, attracting more money. So you see the ripple effect. It's like, let's get to what you're avoiding. That's your work.
Yeah. Yeah. Sit down, notice the pattern, write it out, look at what you're avoiding.
And then choose differently.
Yeah. Cool.
Obviously.
Cool. I was like, has he waved at us yet? Yeah. Okay. So,
Or we just keep talking.
I was like, did I miss it? This feels like 20 minutes. All right. So, amazing advice to anyone at home. Start there. Once they get that pattern, if you feel like you can't shift it yourself, obviously book in, see Lucinda. It's your jam. So this podcast is for brave women or courageous women. So the idea of this podcast is always like, we go first. I go first, you go first. We're the example, right? So I wanted to ask you, what is the, bravest, most vulnerable thing that you've ever done, and just to share that?
I think the bravest thing I've ever done is, and it's kind of in my whole story, still to this day, I feel like I'm still like healing from it, is like when I lost my mum, but not actually losing her, is like I suppressed and repressed for years that it all came out when I was 25 from a miscarriage. And then I had to deal with that. But like even things like I arranged my mum's funeral when I was 20 by myself. And it's like a 20-year-old shouldn't have to do that. And I think, that has really, that and everything that's come from it, because I've had a lot of wounds around abandonment, being alone, it still comes up in my relationship sometimes. And I've got to do exactly what I just said with the pattern. Like, is that truth or not? Are you actually alone? And just the ripple effect that's had really, and facing what most people would avoid and continue to push it down. Because again, it's not easy to do the healing work.
No.
You're looking at things that most literally never look at.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
That's all right.
Yeah. It is like doing the work.
Yeah.
And looking at the stuff that you're pushing down is like absolutely, to me, the most bravest, vulnerable thing. And that's what this podcast is all about, is people like actually going, okay, this is my problem. Like, what do I do about it? And uncovering it, because so many people just walk around just never looking at it.
Autopilot.
No, that's too painful. That's too scary. So that would be a really big thing for you to work through.
And I will say, like, because that probably sounded like you're like, fuck, do I want to do that? Like, it's like short-term discomfort for long-term gain.
Absolutely.
It's so worth it, because even if I think about all the pain and the discomfort and the challenges, it's like built me into who I am today. And if I never, I would never have been a healer or a coach if I never had a miscarriage and then started an e-commerce business in crystals. That led me here. And that only happened because of trauma with my mum. So it all was like this journey.
Yeah.
And then I think to myself, would you actually be in this position if that didn't happen?
Yes.
I mean, I could never tell you, but would I?
I feel the exact same way about Aaruka. Like, I would never have been on a obsession level with healing if I wasn't trying to uncover like why I was struggling so deeply. And it literally led me to discover like, how does the brain work? How does brainwaves work? What's frequency? What's spirituality? What's the nervous system? Like every single part of healing and every type of healing, because I just wanted to understand like how I could get better. And I wouldn't have kind of cracked the code, if you will, if I hadn't have had the level of trauma that I'd had.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it takes healing to get to that point where you can say that, because there's so many people out there that are still like, your trauma didn't make you stronger, your trauma wasn't better for you, like that's, gaslighting and blah, blah, blah. But it's not. Once you come out the other side, you're like, oh.
Yeah, and you often won't see it whilst you're in it.
No.
And that's why I say to people, I think there's this big thing around look for the lesson. And I don't think there was a lesson in my mum dying. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the lesson to that? Do you know what I mean? But I do think it builds you.
It does build you. Absolutely. And you're never going to see how that like unraveled the rest of your life until you do the work, because you'll just stay in it forever. Yeah. And that's that thing of, like you said, short-term discomfort versus if you keep pushing it down, you carry it with you for the rest of your life and you never actually get over it.
Yeah. And you're avoiding the pain, but you're in the pain every single day.
I know.
You just are probably numb to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Except when you're not, and you take your drugs or your alcohol or your antidepressants or whatever to like push it down again.
And that's where all those patterns come out in your everyday, which is why we say the patterns are one of the easiest ways to get to like what you're avoiding, because they're just happening in your actual reality.
Yeah. Amazing. Nailed it. That was so much fun and yeah, really direct to the point. Hopefully you got a lot out of that. Thank you again for coming on.
That's okay. Thanks for having me. I loved it.
Such a good chat, such a fun little chat. If you know anybody who is blocked and stuck and you feel like they need to hear this, please send this episode on to them. And thank you for listening.